Hello indie game fans! Due to the absence of the indie Megabooth presence this year, the organisation has cooked up a sale covering more than 150 games over the past 9 years, so my top 10 picks starts with Russian subway dogs. This arcade title, inspired by the real-life story of dogs taking the subway in Moscow, is wonderfully cute, where you need to bark to scare passengers into throwing up their food into the air, where you can then jump up and gobble it for a tasty snack. This is split into distinct levels, each having their own unique objectives for you to 3-star the level, but it's just so cute with great pixel art. One mechanic shown off is the use of vodka to set things on fire and to cook food, which isn't really how it works, but hey. It's adorable and quite challenging and well worth a play. This one is a no-brainer since the all-action heavy metal shooter Belfaris is on its largest discount ever at 45% and has you blasting through soldiers and aliens in order to get revenge on your father. Check out my review if you want to know more details, but it got a full metal mode patch, which is basically New Game Plus. This one is a pleasant surprise since StarCrawlers is a classic first-person dungeon crawler but with a sci-fi theme instead of the traditional fantasy. So think Legend of Grimrock but in a space punk universe and you get the idea. Turn-based combat, procedurally generated dungeons and 8 player classes makes this quite replayable, and at 90% off, why not? It's always nice to look through these lists of games to find hidden gems that you missed out on, and Gathering Sky is my pick for this list. This is a beautiful flying sim where you guide a flock of birds in a journey across the skies. Catch air currents and slipstreams as you admire the beauty of the hand-painted backgrounds. It looks very pleasant and freeing, even more so if you're cooped up at home and isn't your traditional game in structure with combat and objectives per se, but looks wonderful nonetheless. One very stylish title from 2018 is the point-and-click mystery title A Case of Distrust, which has such a wonderful silhouetted art style that really nails that detective mystery feel. Everything from the music to the setting and mood is top notch and is one part point and click title and one part Phoenix Wright. I almost put Sparklight in my video on the best Zelda-like titles, but held off from doing so since it has a procedurally generated element, but the Zelda-like nature of the gameplay is clear to see. Fantastic pixel art, fun action, upgrades and great boss fights makes it a charm, and the version 1.5 update adds even more content.
The heavily armoured Toro Walker. Versatile, tough, and effective at any range. The towering treehouse tank fires over protective cover and burns through enemies. Not one for subtlety. The anti-grav Arlo excels at close-range combat. Its high mobility and audio-kinetic pulse is its best defense. The Mongoose is small, but hard to track, and its active camouflage allows it to easily flank enemies.
One of the titles that I don't see enough people talking about is Brigador Up Armored Edition, an action roguelite where you control a number of mechs and vehicles with a unique mix of action and stealth gameplay. I love the art style, and it does actually get quite challenging, and it's a great time to jump in since there is a sequel in the works. The least discounted title on this list is the fantastic action roguelite Undermine, where you play as successive peasants sent into the mine to search for treasure. While it may not be as steep of a discount, this game is one which I really enjoyed and has been getting constant content patches in early access, so much so that I have no doubt that it will turn into something truly excellent when it is done, so as good a time as any to jump in. In many ways, this feels like The Binding of Isaac crossed with Rogue Legacy, the former gameplay-wise and the latter in terms of how upgrades are managed. I do love building up hub areas in such games, and interestingly, for a top-down title, we are also able to jump, so quite a unique feel to the game. As mentioned in my Game of the Decade video, one of the most underrated platformers is Slime Sun Super Slime Edition, where you play as a slime eaten by a giant worm but then realizes that there is an entire city within the worm's stomach. Find your way out in this squishy platformer with a host of free level packs as well, such as the nautical themed Blackbird's Kraken. From the squishiness, one can certainly see the Meat Boy influence, but the upgrades, unlocks, characters and locations within this city are also a delight. I like the art style with very clever use of a limited color palette, much like the often mentioned Nadia was here, but I cannot for the life of me figure out why this has not sold better since it is such a great game. If you love platformers and have not tried this, perhaps give the demo a shot and pick it up on sale if you like it. One of my favorite indie games is Halcyon 6 Starbase Commander Lightspeed Edition, a space strategy RPG that has it all. There's XCOM style base building, Heroes of Might and Magic style resource management, diplomacy with alien factions and pirates, and turn-based combat both on land and in space. For such a mechanically dense title, the Lightspeed Edition was a free update that rebalanced and added even more content, so at 75% off, this one's a real steal for the hours of enjoyment that you can get out of this, taking the #1 spot. If you enjoyed the video, why not share it with a friend? Check out even more great indie gaming videos, and in this current climate, stay safe and I will see you after the jump.